Hey, everybody. The Oklahoma City Thunder are going to the NBA Finals. They embarrassed the Timberwolves tonight, 124-94. And I've talked about this in the past, but when I watch the Thunder play, the Kings are light years behind the Thunder. Like, they're not even in the same category. And I think Minnesota is so far ahead of Sacramento as well. We keep on talking about this. And I just wonder, like, from a Kings fan's perspective, you have to look at where the Thunder were just a few years ago. You know, when the Kings won 48 games 3 seasons ago, but 2 years removed, the Thunder were a 40-win team and did not make the play-in. They didn't even make the play-in. And now where are they? They're going to the NBA Finals. But the Thunder had Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and they were building, and you could see that they were close. As a matter of fact, I said that year that I thought that the Thunder would clearly be in the playoffs the following year. I didn't expect them to be as good as they were last year, but here they are this year, and they're going to the NBA Finals. And I look at the West. We keep on talking about this. I look at where Sacramento is with very few assets, with no draft pick, no star. When I mean star, no superstar. And as Jake said, the Kings are going backwards. I agree with you. I totally agree with you. I think they are going backwards. I think that was very evident with the hiring as soon as Monte McNair ventured out the door. They are going backwards. If you're a Kings fan watching Oklahoma City play, barring injuries, like, what would make you think you're ever going to compete with them? I mean, seriously. Again, you don't have a superstar. You don't have a franchise player. I know you could say Sabonis is that guy, but you had a franchise player and you traded him. His name was Tyrese Halliburton, the guy that you drafted. It's just the same thing over and over and over again. Just Denver's going to be much better than Sacramento. So many teams. So many teams. Congratulations to the Florida Panthers. They're going back to the Stanley Cup Finals. Try to retain the cup. They beat Carolina 4-1, and they'll await the winner of Edmonton and Dallas. That game tomorrow with, it looks like it's going to be a rematch of last year's final with the Edmonton Oilers. So we got those topics to talk about. Anything else that you want to discuss, we can do so right here on If You Don't Like That. Well, it didn't take long after a promising start, but the A's are right back to where we thought they would be, and that's one of the worst teams in baseball. They are 22-33. That is the third worst record in the American League. They have lost 9 of 10. They have an abysmal pitching staff. They are terrible at home in West Sacramento. Not bad on the road, 500. But at home, they're only 9-19. Man. Yeah, it's going to be a long summer. Hey, Grant, I missed yesterday's live stream, but to answer one question you asked, yes, I watched both the F1 Monaco Grand Prix and the Indianapolis 500. It's my annual birthday week tradition. Good for you. You know, the F1 at Monaco is such a spectacle, but it's got to be the most boring race of any race anywhere. I mean, you can't pass. They tried the extra pit stop, mandatory 2 pit stops. That was a disaster. It was worse this year than it was last year when Leclerc won. I mean, it's just awful this year. It's terrible. So much so that, you know, the announcers were even talking about it in the middle of the race, and then post-race, the drivers were just talking about how bad it was. I mean, you have the most amazing – I had a friend that was there, and he said that it was just incredible to be there. But that's got to be the most boring race of the year. If you qualify first, if you're on the pole, you're in all likelihood going to win the race unless you crash into the wall. You can't pass on that track. They tried different things. So I'm not really sure what they can do. Jake says, yes, unfortunately, but that's how it goes being a Kings fan. Yeah, I understand. The Indy race was good. Didn't watch Monaco. I missed a lot of the Indy race. I got to tell you, and again, I didn't think I'd be talking about motorsports, but I'm happy to do so. I haven't watched open wheel racing. I haven't watched the Indy 500 now in 2 or 3 years. I hate the way the cars look. I was watching for a couple moments on Sunday, and I'm like, what the hell is this? I don't like the cars. I don't like the way the cars look at all. I don't know how you feel, but I was like, nah, no. I like the Indy camera coverage better than F1. It is pretty good at Indy. I would agree with that. Monaco is all about qualifying, no doubt about it. I've been watching a lot of the F1. I'd never watched the F1 before until about 3 years ago. And I got bored one night and I watched the series on Netflix and I got hooked. I got addicted to it just from watching the F1 series on Netflix. And I started watching it. And now I watch all the races. I despise Clay Bennett and the Thunder lived in the Pacific Northwest in the early 2000s for 5 years. Seattle got jobbed when they lost the Sonics. Yeah, I understand completely. You should also blame your mayor. Have I got plastic surgery? No. And it's NAPEAR. Plastic surgery. Come on. What's wrong with you? Plastic surgery. Hit me up. Give me a call. Let me hit you with the link. You've got the QR code right above my shoulder. I got a short haircut. Maybe that's what it is with my big ass head. But yeah, no plastic surgery. Come on, man. I'm 65. Come on. What's wrong with you? I don't even know how to respond after that. The F1 race in Vegas is nuts. Race cars on city streets, surprised they are bringing it back. Last year's F1 race in Vegas was a disaster, beginning with the absurdity of the 10 grid penalty on Carlos Sainz when a manhole cover came off during practice. It's a great spectacle. That's for sure. It's a great spectacle. Grant, on yesterday's show, you said if Phoenix drafted Luka, the Kings still draft Marvin Bagley. You don't think they would take DeAndre Ayton over Bagley? What I meant by that was if Luka was taken one, first of all, the Kings wanted to take Michael Porter Jr., but do I think they would have taken Bagley over Ayton? It's a good question, Cody. I can't say that definitively. I can't say that for sure. Go Edmonton. You got to figure they're going to win a cup one of these years. They're just too darn talented. But Florida, I think Florida's a better team, to be honest with you. Who is the most important person in my life? Just curious. Well, it was my father, and there was not even a close second. Grant, watching these playoffs, how far are the Kings? Wow. 12-hour difference in time zones. That means you're halfway around the world. They got a long way to go, D-Mac. They got a long way to go. They've got a long way to go. Yeah. They've got a long way to go. All right, again, hit me up. Love the questions. I'm glad I don't look a day over 64. That makes me feel good. It's okay. I'm thinking, for those of you that are younger, you're like, you think you're going to live forever. Then you get to be 50 and you're like, whoa, I'm 50. Then when you get to be 60, you're like, oh my God, I'm on my last lap. You live a little differently. I try to work out, try to swim. I go for walks every day. You try to beat the odds, right? You try to beat the odds. I mean, if anything happens to me, how the hell am I going to talk to you people every day? Like, how's that going to work? Huh? Come on, right? I got to stay healthy for you all. We got to do this for many years, right? I'm thinking that I've told Ryan this. I'm having a lot of fun doing these shows, and I'm thinking I'm just going to look at Jerry Reynolds. He's on with us all the time. He's 80 years old, 81, whatever he is. I mean, I love doing these shows. Is a possible strategy for Scott Perry to go after players that other teams may offload to avoid luxury taxes? Yes. Paul, I know you're just missing with me. No problem. I'm 52, been thinking differently about life. It goes fast, man. I feel like I was 50 just yesterday. I'm a fox for my age. A fox. Oh, man. How do I think Seattle feels seeing the Thunder Sonics in the finals? Probably the same way the Kings fans feel watching Tyrese Halliburton dominate and be a freaking stud. I'm 40 and feel old, so I work out every day and eat healthy. Good for you. You'll be my age before you know it. Hang in there. Unfortunately, I probably won't be around to see you when you get to be my age, but you never know. I'm not losing out all hope. You never know. Right? Miracles happen every day. I'll tell you, though, not to get on a tangent, I wouldn't want to be old and incapacitated. Like that to me, nah. If I were old and need constant care, no, I don't want to live like that. Now, I would say this, all right? If you want to live longer, you got to eat healthy, right? Go to Bennett's, West Side Grill in Rockland, Sacramento, Roseville. I love the redfish that comes with spinach. If I'm there for lunch, that is normally my go-to. Sometimes I'll do the chopped salad with the steak, which is so freaking good. At night, I got to tell you, that bottom right-hand corner, that's what I'm having. My New York. Oh, I love it. Go to Bennett'sRestaurants.com, everybody. Bennett'sRestaurants.com. Again, Sacramento, Roseville, the West Side Grill in Rockland. Prime seafood and steak at Bennett's. Bennett'sRestaurants.com. Give me that redfish. Love it. Love it. Did the NBA overplay their hands with the apron nonsense? I don't know what you mean by overplay their hand. I never really had a dad, so you were blessed, Mr. Grant. I was blessed, and I'm sorry to hear that. How do I feel about Monk coming off the bench next year? I think Monk will do what's best for the team, and I'm fine with that. I think it's his best role, but it all depends on who they pick up in the offseason. What's my favorite golf course in the Sacramento area? If you include Auburn area, Winchester. I love Winchester. Grant, you look great, my friend. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Turning 45 on Friday. Been thinking that I'm halfway completed, but I'm grateful to be alive and generally healthy. Well, the odds say you're well past the halfway point. I don't want to burst your bubble, but based on the average lifespan of a male, I'm sorry, you've already crossed the mid-court line. But I hope, but maybe you're going to be on the other side of the numbers. Happy birthday coming up. What's your top 3 life advices that changed your life? That's a fabulous question that I've never been asked for before. That is a great, great question. Always treat people the way you want to be treated. Always put others first. And all lives matter. It's how I was raised. I've been very open about this for decades. I don't care what you look like. I don't care what your religion is. I don't care about your sexual orientation. None of that matters to me. I don't care. You're either a good person or you're not. It's how I judge people. You're either a good person or you're not. And listen, I'm like you and everyone else. There are people that I don't care for, but those people aren't in my life. You make a very simple decision. How hard is that? All lives matter. I've always lived by that. That's how I was raised. So I think that's helped me a lot in life. A lot. I've got friends from all ethnicities, religions. I have friends that are of different generations from different cultures. They're good people. Good people. I talk about being in Thailand and meeting a diverse culture and how they treat people so differently than in America. I mean, I don't know how to explain this anymore than I'm going to use this as an example. The WNBA to me is unwatchable, not because of the quality of basketball, but because of Angel Reese and because of the constant racist vibes towards Caitlin Clark that are so manufactured, so absurd, and it has turned me off so much that I refuse to watch a WNBA game. I'll watch college basketball, the women's game, and I do, but I will not for 1 second watch the WNBA. And I go on social media and I'm just like, good Lord, get off social media. I can't stand it. All I see is, all of the venom and hatred and all of the racial components about the WNBA and this player versus Caitlin Clark and this player versus that player. And it's a turnoff to me. That very rarely exists in Thailand. People in Thailand are not on Twitter or X. They don't even know what it is when I ask them. They're not on it. They're on Instagram. They're on Facebook. But they're not on X. They got better things to do with their time. They don't care what you look like. They don't care if you're straight or a ladyboy. They don't care if you're Muslim, Buddhist, Catholic, Jewish. They don't care. By the way, Thailand is divided into, it's mostly Buddhist, but in the southern part of Thailand, it's Muslim. It's not an issue. People get along great. But in America, we can't go 24 hours without something having to do with race, white versus black. Right? It's ridiculous. Anti-Semitic acts everywhere. You don't see that in Thailand. So those are some of the things that I would tell you that I learned in life, and will practice that until my last breath. I mean, I don't understand why things are so difficult in America. The golden rule, your word is your worth, loyalty. A freaking men. A freaking men. Absolutely. So true about that. So true about that. I wonder, and I really mean this, not to get off on a tangent again, but in my lifetime, am I going to see a change in America? And I would say probably not. Probably not. And I just think, I think it's getting worse. I don't think it's getting better. And without being a pessimist, I don't have a lot of hope for a society that gets along without all of the crap. I mean, that's the other thing. Most of the stuff in America is completely manufactured. It's like a bunch of nonsense, right? The things you see on the news, the things you see on social media, it's not real life. Just go out and talk to people. Most people want the same thing. It's a joke. It's true around the world, too. I'm here for this discussion. Well, you can ask me anything you want. You know me, I'm always going to be truthful, and I'm always going to answer your questions. It's because of the anonymity of the internet. Yeah, there's a lot to that. Yep. Yep. Normal, everyday people are mostly good. And you know what? I find that to be true all over the world. No matter where I've gone, I find that most people want the same thing. They just want to be happy and they want to live in a world of peace. They don't want war. They don't want to starve to death. I mean, you understand where I'm coming from when I say this. You know, a lot of cultures, they don't need a lot of money to be happy. I'm in one right now in Thailand. I mean, a lot of the people here if they make 15,000 US dollars a year, that's a good income. And I'm not exaggerating. And they work 6 days a week. And they're happy to have their job and they're happy to be able to take care of their family. And they live a simple life, but they live a life where they're happy and they're not attacking people and they're not walking into stores and robbing them and shoplifting because they don't have a lot of money. Think about that. You know, if you were sitting at a coffee shop, as an example, outdoors at a table, and you left your backpack on the chair or an item on the table, you can come back a half hour later, an hour later, it's still going to be there. No one's touching it. No one's taking it. No one's like stealing anything. Imagine that in a society. It's amazing. During the Chinese New Year and some other times of the year, on the trains here, where you grab onto the hand wraps or whatever you call them, they'd put little stuffed animals on every single train in Bangkok, attached with like a zip tie. Those animals were on the trains for a month. Not one was ever taken. Not one. Not one. In New York, those stuffed animals would be gone before they were finished being put up. In Chicago, those would be gone. On BART, gone. They would be gone before the train got to the next freaking stop. Just different cultures. It's amazing. Philippine is the same. They make $400 to $500 a month. They're happy already. Yep. Absolutely. How about this? Shoplifting concerns twice today on my shift. Sickening. And you can't do anything about it, which is even worse. I've learned a lot from traveling. It's completely opened up my eyes to, and listen, don't get me wrong. I'm happy to be an American and I'm grateful for my citizenship. And I don't want to portray that any differently. Like I'm grateful to be an American. I'm proud to be an American. But I've also learned this, you know, for everyone that boasts about America being some great country and they're this and they're that, America's got a lot of flaws. And if you refuse to acknowledge that, then you're living in a cave. And there are many other countries around the world that do it better now than America. Just the healthcare alone. Again, I keep on talking about visiting different countries. The healthcare in Thailand is unfreaking believable. I've never experienced anything like it in my life. It's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. Much better than America, like much better. The hospitals are like 5-star hotels. The doctors are from all over the world. They have the highest level of education and medical practice. The prices, I mean, really now. I can't even begin to tell you. Like, it's like a fantasy world. And you don't wait. I was here 2 years ago and I had to go to the hospital. I walked in at 9 o'clock, just off the street. Think about this. 9 o'clock, I walked into a hospital. By 9:15, I was registered. By 10 o'clock, I had already seen one doctor. By 10:45, I had had a lab blood work. By 11 o'clock, I had seen the other doctor again to go over my lab results. By 12 o'clock, I had seen another doctor of a special area. Okay, so in 3 hours, all of that happened. I'd still be waiting at the hospital in America if I'd walked in off the street at 9 o'clock on a Saturday. It's just unbelievable. Oh, and the cost? Like the cost for all of that? How about $245? Just telling you. It's unbelievable. And you can walk into a pharmacy. It's unbelievable. I had to have antibiotics, and the hospital said, you can buy them. I'll give it to you, and you can buy it here. But if you walk into the pharmacy, you'll save a lot of money. I'm like, you can buy it in the pharmacy? They go, yeah, just tell them what you want. I walked into the pharmacy, got antibiotics. Cost me, honestly, I'm not exaggerating, like $6 and $6 to $7. Do I hate DeMarcus Cousins? No, I don't hate DeMarcus Cousins. I feel sorry for DeMarcus because he is his own worst enemy. He's the worst thing that ever happened to him. He could have been the best player in Kings history and one of the best players in the NBA of his generation, but he was his own worst enemy. He wouldn't allow that to happen. He ruined his career. He ruined his career. There's the link. If you want to call me, get on. We can talk about anything. Kind of going in different directions on this show, which I'm fine. It does get a little monotonous talking about the same thing every day with the Kings or the NBA. Of course, the Knicks will try to stay alive tomorrow. I don't like the Knicks' chances. I think they're going to have some real issues tomorrow. I really do. Hey, New Works Plumbing. They've got a fix for you. They're available around the clock 24/7. Go to sackserviceplumbing.com, call the number on your screen, or newworksplumbing.com, NEWWRXplumbing.com. New Works Plumbing. They've got a fix for you. Always good when I can talk to Dirk. Dirk, how are you today?
I'm all right, Grant. How about yourself?
I'm good, thank you.
I didn't even watch the game, honestly. I just thought it was inevitable. OKC was going to advance.
Yep.
Assuming the Pacers move on, what chance do you give the Pacers in that series? They got enough magic to pull this thing off?
Right now, I'd give them a 45 to 50% chance because they have a great coach. It's not just one player. They're a really, really balanced team. They play good defense. Oklahoma City has shown vulnerabilities in all 3 series with bad losses. And I think Indiana will be able to take advantage of it. I think it goes at least 6 games. I give Indiana, I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander will be the difference in the series. But I give Indiana a legitimate chance. Do you not?
I do. I mean, I've just been watching them all playoffs, and there's something special about that team. So people talking about sweep, I just assume they're all like bitter bitter
Sweep.
fans of teams that beat them.
I
You
don't
know?
see a sweep. I mean, Indiana beat the number one seed in Cleveland, right?
Yeah.
Uh, and they didn't slow down after that. Why would I think that they're going to get swept? They're playing too well, in my opinion, to get swept. Here's the one thing I don't like about what we're seeing is if Indiana wins tomorrow, and I think they will, but if they win, you already have Oklahoma City that won tonight. Do you know the finals don't start until next Thursday? It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, the guys probably need a break.
No, they don't
One
need a
question.
break. They don't need a break at all. It's 100% for television. The players don't want a week off. None of the players want a week off. And that's not true at all. Give the players 2 days off. They would be just fine and ready to go. I mean, they don't need a break. They don't want to wait a freaking week to play. That's for sure.
I do got one Kings based question for you.
Yeah.
People talk about who's the point guard, who's the point guard. I already think this team is a bit of a circus show. So, what about trying to make an offer for Russell Westbrook as your starting
Yeah, but
point
then,
guard?
but what are you doing here? Are you putting a Band-Aid on the situation, or are you trying to build a team that can be good every year?
I don't think there is a path to build a good team in perpetuity. I think you need to somewhat get younger, acquire assets so you can get first round picks, get the advantage, and take shots years down the road. The
Yeah,
longer
well,
we put that
that
off,
doesn't include Russell Westbrook.
oh, I know. So let's go all in. You're not getting off Zach LaVine's contract, and you can't. The only thing you could do is extend and renegotiate so that he could become a tradable asset for you. I don't think you can win with him. So Russell Westbrook can run an offense, can do a lot of things. There's a lot of criticism about him, but he might be eager to get back into that starting role and have something to prove. So you maximize these 2 years, prove Vivek is a failure again,
Well,
and
then
just exploit the
that
rest.
you don't have to prove. You already know that.
Well, maybe he can prove it to himself. I don't know.
Yeah, well, maybe we're going to wake up tomorrow and we're going to have world peace. Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean it's just doom and gloom for the Kings, so I need something to look forward to. I
I
mean,
know.
might as well go crazy for see what happens for two
Yeah.
years, and then maybe we get on that path. But just some thought. But what do you
Okay.
think about Westbrook? I mean, you might get value
I'm not
there for
enamored
what he
by
might
it.
have to offer.
I think would be nothing but a Band-Aid over a short period of time. It doesn't do much for me, to be honest with you.
Okay, I thought might be the best option, but thanks for
Okay.
taking my call, Grant.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it, Dirk. The man that's been missing, PK. Where you been, buddy? Where you been?
What's up, big dog? I'm on
Hey,
vacation. What do you mean?
everybody's been asking, "Where's PK? What happened to PK? Where did PK go?"
Man, look at this playoff. This playoff is a joke. What? There's nothing to watch on TV. Man, it's like gotta watch something on HBO or something or Caitlin Clark.
Well,
And even Caitlin Clark is out
The
now.
Knicks Pacers has been a good series.
It's been a good series, but let me say this: like, someone has to start defending their freaking home court. Like, I feel like in the past you could kind of just like you expected someone to take one game maybe, but now it's like a free for all. um and it's I don't know, it just feels weak. It feels weak. I mean, OKC, it's gonna be OKC Indiana. Like, maybe Indiana's the only team that can beat OKC. Do you agree with that? Or like
Well,
put up a
right now they're
series.
going to be the only team because they're probably going to be the team that's playing them. But I like the way Indiana's playing right now. There's nothing about them that I think is an issue. They're playing.
But would you agree that New York is more talented?
Um, by a whisker, maybe, but not by much.
Uh,
But I've also said this, PK. There's a lot about team basketball, and the Indiana Pacers are truly a team where everyone completely buys into their role.
mm-hmm. And and this comes down to me, just to finish off with Kings. You see these teams and you kind of like realize that you need at least 8, 9 guys to be a
Yep.
competitive, realistic something. If you're gonna do something, you're gonna need at least 8, 9 guys. Would
Yep.
you agree with
Good.
that?
Yep. You need a really solid, good 8 players, and if not, you're not going anywhere.
Okay. All right. Cool. Thanks, Grant. Have a
All right,
great,
PK,
great
welcome
evening.
back. All right, take it easy. See you. And you need 8 players that know how to play with one another. You need 8 players that understand their roles. Right? Like when you have Jason Hart coming off the bench and said to Tom Thibodeau, put me off the bench. No problem. I'm fine with that. You know, if Chris Webber had done that back after he came from his injury, the Kings probably would have been in the NBA Finals that year. But he refused to do that. There's a lot to being a team player and being a team. Kings are cooked. They got a long way to go, I can tell you that. They got a long way to go. I don't think anyone would really disagree with that, right? Regardless of what they do in the offseason, I don't see how they're going to be anywhere near the top 6. Hey, folks, buying a home, selling a home, this is your man. All right? Connor, Element Mortgage. There's your QR code. I'm going to put the number on the screen. Tons of experience. He himself has closed hundreds of loans. The team behind him, over 100 years of experience. Connor, Element Mortgage, 916-505-1006. That's 916-505-1006. Give him a call, and he will make your dreams come true. Buying that home, selling a home, he is awesome. Connor with Element Mortgage. Thanks for the calls. Good to hear from Dirk. Good to hear from PK. There's that number again. Kings should rebuild. Do I think the ratings will be weak with OKC versus the Pacers? If you lose the Knicks market, yes, that's going to hurt a lot. That's going to be an issue. That's going to be that's not going to be good if that is the case. So do I think the ratings will suffer from that? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. The ratings have been good this year in the playoffs, but I do think the finals could be a different story. PK's back. What's up, boys? PK, man, where the hell have you been? Horrible series performance by the Wolves. They got outclassed. There's no doubt about that. They got outclassed. That's for sure. But when you look at their nucleus and when they're healthy, they're really good. And that's another team that's head and shoulders above Sacramento. Yeah, there's no way Levine's going to be a role player. I don't know why you would think that. Levine's contract is so bad for him to be a role player. He's not going to be a role player. That's not what he does. Do I put Aaron Judge and Barry Bonds type level? I put him way ahead of Barry Bonds because he's not cheating. Even if the Kings do it all right this summer, next year will be a challenge. Big time challenge. I don't see the Kings right now, without even knowing what moves they're going to make, being a top 8 team. Clearly not a top 6 team, which means they're going to be in the play-in if they get that lucky. I think Portland's going to be right there. San Antonio, 2 teams that weren't in the discussion last year. The 3 teams that I'm a little skeptical on because I don't know what direction they're going in, the Warriors, the Lakers, and the Clippers. Those are the 3 teams. I want to see what they do in the offseason. I think the Warriors, how much longer can they keep going? You know, Curry gets hurt a lot. What's going to happen with Butler? I just wonder how much longer they're going to be able to keep being relevant in the West. Texas team's scary. They got a future, don't they? I mean, I'm thinking if Flag is as good as everyone says, and again, these are all ifs. If Kyrie were to come back and be effective, and then there's always an if with Davis, but they've got a lot of other pieces. I mean, look, they didn't have Kyrie Irving against the Kings, and they kicked their butt in the play-in. Put Judge ahead of Bonds, McGuire, and Sosa. Well, first of all, Judge has got many years left in his career, so I can't put him ahead of anybody right now until his career is over. And he's got to do it in October. He's got to do it in October. That's for sure. KT probably going to Houston or the Mavs. We'll see. Well, he gets hurt all the time too, right? I mean, can you really count on Kevin Durant anymore? Can you? I'm not so sure. I don't know if you can count on Durant. Guy gets hurt all the freaking time. So I wouldn't be so excited to get Durant on my team. Adam Silver is the worst commissioner ever, no backbone. He is a puppet. There is no doubt about it. Mr. Puppet. Mr. Puppet. I mean, I don't know what he does other than he does make a lot of money for the owners with the TV deal. I give him credit for that. But everything else, I think the guy is walking around with blinders on. Just walking around with blinders on. And he does. He has no backbone at all. None. Kings are going to be 10 at best next year. Dallas, Detroit, the Kings playing without Kyrie and AD. I would say this about Dallas. They'll attract good players there. So they're always going to be in the picture. Bonds was a terrible postseason player. He only had one good postseason. He was a great player, but unfortunately he cheated for a lot of his career. I see the Spurs trading some draft picks and maybe Fox for a superstar. They already have a superstar. His name is Victor Wembanyama. Would it be possible to send me a baseball to sign? Miss you in Sac. It'd be better to just come to see me when I'm in Sacramento when I do a public appearance, and I'd be happy to sign it for you. Kings will never win another NBA championship. Another? Indianapolis sports right now on fire. That's pretty good, no doubt. Giannis moving to the West Coast, Grant. Remember my comment when it happens. I don't think that's unreasonable, but it's not going to be in Sacramento. I know that, but I could see that. I could see him going to the Western Conference, which would be a nightmare, again, for so many other teams, including Sacramento. That's the last thing they need is Giannis Antetokounmpo in the West. That would be, yeah, that would not be good. Not be good if you're a Kings fan, unless you have season tickets and you can see him play twice a year. All right, tomorrow, 8 o'clock. I'm going to be on after the Knicks Pacers. That's tomorrow. All right? So be sure and join me tomorrow right here on If You Don't Like That. And again, you can ask me anything. If you want to go in different directions like we did today, I'm fine with that. Grant, do I believe us Kings fans will witness last year on repeat with Christie being fired during the season? I would say it's highly unlikely he'd be fired during the season, but I could see him being a one and done. Can I give you a weather update in Thailand? Overcast, possible showers. New Works Plumbing couldn't fix the Kings. No, they could not. Great show, Grant. Thank you. You want to see when I sign off and say so long? You want to see what the weather looks like? I'll show you. So again, tomorrow, 8 o'clock, right here on If You Don't Like That. And I'll show you my view from Bangkok, Thailand, as we say so long, everybody. Let's see here. See? Cloudy. Looks like rain showers. It's not as dark as that looks right now. It's lighter than that, but the camera, for whatever reason, is maybe because it's into the bright light. But that's my view right here. Yep. But it's right now not raining. But there you have it. Tomorrow, 8 o'clock. See you, everybody. Bye-bye now.